So in the area C of our syllabus, we found some basic information systems aspects, performance management information system. So as the performance managers, we are going to receive reports, meaning that our organization should have information systems to give us performance reports which are appropriate. We have seen already that one of our tasks is to evaluate performance reports. Now, these performance reports are an output of our information systems. That's what we have seen so far. And throughout the course, you have seen that the aspect of information keeps on coming out. Keeps on coming out. The aspects of information keeps on coming up. Did you notice yesterday when we were discussing SWOT analysis, how the knowledge of SWOT analysis impacts on information systems requirement? We said from the SWOT, those areas of weaknesses are homework for us. They give us an idea of a critical success factor. They give us an idea of a KPI. They give us an idea on what our information systems should focus on. That's what we covered. So the knowledge of, or the outcome from our SWOT analysis do dictate what our information systems should look like. So from our syllabus, we have some items here. Performance management information systems. We have the issue of the sources of management information. This information must come from somewhere. How do we record this information today? How do we capture this information? And how do we process? There's an issue of data analytics so that you gain value out of our data. There's the issue of management reports. So these are some of the items, including some developments in technology. Topic breakdown, introduction, the link to APM, uses of information, and the issue of structure. Sources of information, internal, external, and we must cover the concept of big data also. IT issues, recording, processing, and some examples of information system, including the TPS and MIS, and then ERP. Reports, output, how to evaluate the report. And we say we also cover the concept of integrated reporting. So let's get started. It's a long stretch. It's a long stretch. So what we do is we take a break on the way. Management accounting and information systems are an important part of APM. Because it's from management accounting that we get the techniques. And information systems tell us what we need, as they play an integral part in producing the information that managers use for performance measurement and performance management. So the management accounting system and the information systems, these are a source of information that we use, that we need to measure and manage performance. APM candidates should be able to evaluate the compatibility of management accounting objectives and the management information system. In other words, we must make sure that the information system that we have in place is able to report and support our objectives. So key learning outcome is to evaluate the extent to which an information system provides managers with the information that we need. So do you think your current information system gives your management adequate information to support planning, control, and decision making? Do you think that your current information system gives information which is in line with your responsibility accounting structures? What do you think? Does it reflect your responsibility accounting structures? These are the questions that the examiner wants us to be able to talk about and give advice on or comment on. Let's move on to the next item. So this is a starting point, the information needs of management, or the information needs of our organization. So our information needs, or the information needs an organization, should be married with the level of management. And we have come across this diagram before, which represents our organization, the layers that we have in the organization, the management layers. We've got people who are responsible for strategic management, which is long-term planning of the organization. We've got people who are responsible for tactical planning, which is medium-term planning and management control decisions. We've got people at the bottom of the organizations who are responsible for the operations. Operational level management. People who are responsible for making short-term decisions or routine decisions. And where we find routine processing of transactions. So then all these levels of the organization need different type of information. And not too long ago, there was a question where you had to recognize or talk about it, the information implication of these levels of management. I think a question was given 10 marks or so. Strategic planning, this is a function of top management. This is a function of top management which should be supported by appropriate type of management information system. So what happens there? These are people who decide with the objectives, who decide on the objectives of the organization. And where there's need to change these objectives, these are the people who decide on the changes to these objectives. Not only that, they also decide on the resources that should be used so as to attain these objectives. And also the policies that are going to govern us in the acquisition, use, and disposal of these resources. So strategic objective formulation of the company in terms of what the company should be doing in the long term, that is the primary interest of that level of management. Then you've got the management level, what you call management level tactical, management control level or tactical. The process by which managers ensure that resources are obtained. Now here, we want to ensure that the resources are obtained and used effectively and efficiently in the accomplishment of organization's objectives. And that is why we say the major activity here is annual budgeting. The major planning activity here is annual budgeting, where we indicate all the resources that are needed by an organization in the forthcoming year to ensure that we achieve our objectives. So the major activity here is budgeting, budgetary control, ensuring that the resources that we use, we obtain them and also use them properly. Operational control, what does this refer to? What goes on here? Operational planning, the process of ensuring that specific tasks are carried out effectively and efficiently. The process of ensuring that specific tasks are carried out effectively and efficiently. An information system, like another system that we need to support those management functions, has got the input. Where does information come from? You've got the processing, which includes the hardware and software that we need to convert this information into output. And the output is the reports. So just like any other information system, any other system, an information system also has got these three aspects. Where first of all, we input the information, And this information is processed. And we got output. So what are the sources of information? What are the sources of information? Well, we can categorize them in terms of there's internal sources of information. So the information which we process and submit to management may actually be generated internally. May be generated internally. So what type of information is that it's generated internally? Most of it, you as accountants, you realize that it comes from the financial transactions. Those transactions that we capture every day and put into the system becomes a major source of input to management information. It's not only financial information that we capture, there's also non-financial information that we get. For instance, production, details of production. There's going to be a record of production. How much has been produced? And also the resources that have been used, such as how much materials have been used. Labor. What labor hours? How much labor hours have gone in? How many machine hours have gone in? So these are our examples of internal sources of information which is captured from within, processed using the relevant hardware and softwares to generate reports that we present to management. Depending on the level of management that we're looking at, internal information alone is inadequate. This is not adequate. So what do we need? We need, for the purpose of those levels of management, to also focus on external information. So this information is gathered both formally and informally. Specific external sources include directories, associations, trade associations, Zambia Chamber of Commerce, Economics Association of Zambia, SICA, government agencies, Central Statistics Office. But nowadays, where is most information coming from? Internet. But as you are aware, internet may not give you all the information that you need. Some of the good quality information you need to pay for it. So you go to some online databases which you have to subscribe to and make a payment for you to access the information. So for you to access that information, you need to pay. So from the exam relevance, again, in terms of exam relevance, your questions about evaluation. To evaluate the sources of information. The question is about, you assess the quality of the information in terms of cost benefit. But maybe more importantly is how reliable is the information. That is why even about the internet, we need to be very careful. You cannot just go to any website and capture information and bring it inside and say, we've got this information. No. That is why people now are using expressions such as a credible website or information which has been paid for, authenticated information. Because it's garbage in, garbage out. So the quality of your reports and subsequent management information relies on what's the source of the information. And all of us have seen information which sometimes it's published. Some people start transmitting or broadcasting that information on plain later that no, that information actually did not come from ZNBC. It came from somebody, just some person who studied it. I can imagine if you included that in your management information. The starting point in an information system is to capture the information. That brings us to the concept of recording. That brings us the concept of recording. How do you record information? Do you record it manually? Yes, years back, it was manual recording. You record information manually in the sales day books and you start processing it. But we know that gone are the days. When we go to the supermarkets, if you're a trader, how do you capture information? You don't have to key it in now, isn't it? You simply scan. That's all. Another technology was the use of magnetic ink recognition, special ink which could be recognized, read, and captured into the system, further processing. Your examiner likes this one. The use of radio frequency identification tags. What does that involve? Tagging with small receivers, radio receivers. These could be your assets, your stock items, but now we can even use it for staff, for easy access, and also for easy location. If you want to easily locate your item, it becomes much easier if an item is carrying these tags, which can easily be sensed and know exactly where they are. So nowadays, the use of these tags is one of the important technologies to enable us quickly record information. Assuming that whatever method we're using, we have successfully recorded the information. What follows? Processing. That information needs to be processed. Yes, earlier on, the processing would be manual, where we start getting the calculators and we are adding figures and subtracting figures and completing the double entry and balancing off the accounts and carrying these balances forward. What developments have we seen? Fast processing using personal computers, using softwares, including the databases, the spreadsheets, even the ERPs. So nowadays, in terms of processing, we've got all types of applications that you can use. And these are very fast. We have said more on radio frequency identification tags. We have said, let's say a bit more. Organizations can use small radio receivers to tag items to keep track of their assets. It can be used for a variety of purposes. For example, to track inventory to retail stores, to tag live stock, like after that disease, the so-called mad cow disease in the UK in 2002, so that we tag livestock, we know which livestock is infected, which one is not, and all that. Interestingly, to track the location of doctors in a hospital. So this technology can really help us to improve performance then. Because you can imagine if your inventory is tagged like that, it's unlikely that you are going to experience a stock out. It's unlikely that you are going to experience the excess stocking. Many clothing retailers began the phase rollout of item level radio frequency identification tags in 2007, following extensive testing of technology. Stock accuracy has improved, and stores and customers have commented on the more consistent availability of sizes in the pilot departments. You're not surprised, isn't it? Further, the tags allow staff to carry out stock taking 20 times faster than a barcode scanner by passing an RFID tag reader over the goods. That's over the goods, so they can capture everything. At the end of each day, stock on the shop floor will be scanned and the data collected will be compared with the information in a central database containing each store's profile to determine when products need to be replaced or replenished. This has led to improved sales through greater product availability. So these are some of the case studies indicating the impact of using these tags. The introduction of these tags can bring about a number of benefits. Information on the location and quantity of items can be provided in a real time, meaning that less time is spent looking for items. This information should be more accurate since it will be less reliant on physical checks. Performance reporting should improve due to provision of real-time information. Control should be easier. This is firstly due to the provision of real-time information, and secondly, since the location and quantity of items will be known, the risk of theft and obsolescence will also be reduced. This is how this technology helps to improve performance. The benefits would certainly outweigh the cost. The costs include the cost of the hardwares, the softwares, ongoing running and maintenance costs, and training costs. Coming to outputs, the reports, coming to outputs. The type of outputs which are referred to on our paper includes the dashboards. So what is a dashboard? An executive information output, which shows the current data, with pictures there, graphs, and tables arising from an attempt to reduce paper. So everything should come just on a single screen. And providing decision makers with info which is easy to read. Instead of getting a big report, hard copy report, and start flipping through the pages, it's not necessary. It's not at all necessary. Because that screen is much easier to read. Such a dashboard also can include drill down reports. These are often combined with dashboards, and that's a capability to look at increasingly detailed data. For instance, like some of the banks, if you are enrolled for telephone banking, what do? They indeed give you a dashboard which shows all the accounts that you have with them and shows the balances. But if you want more details, you click on the balance to get more detail, and that's now drill down. You can drill down due to the last point that you want. Exceptional reports triggered only when the situation is unusual. So we can have a situation where after our information has been processed, we can throw them on a dashboard, or with some drill down facility. But also we can only produce a report when there's something that is not in order, instead of producing routine reports. This afternoon, we've looked at a very good question about evaluating performance report. So in IS again, in information systems, we say the outcome is a report. So after information has been processed, we expect a report to come out. That report which is coming out must address the following. What is the purpose of the report? What is the fundamental purpose of this report? Does the report provide information which is relevant to organization's performance against the mission? So we are back to the mission and objectives. That performance report which has been produced by our information systems. Do you think it provides information on the mission objectives? Who is the audience? Who is the report produced for? Is the report appropriate for its audience and requirements? Information. What information is needed? Let's give financial, non-financial, quantitative and qualitative. Does the report provide information which is needed? Layout. Does the report make it clear for readers to identify the most important information plus the caveats and conclusions? So the information that we receive, we need to be very careful today. Why? it's possible to have excess information. And that is what we call what? Information overload. Information overload. We need to guard against possible information overload by introducing the concept called lean. Now, the concept of lean is not only information systems. Actually, if you may have noticed that we talk about lean overall in manufacturing. Overall in manufacturing. Want lean manufacturing systems, they are more efficient. But in the context of a discussion, applying that to what? Information. Lean systems provide a way of doing more with less. Doing more with less. And I'm sure all of us would want to do more with less, isn't it? What do you mean by the less? Less human effort, less equipment, less time, less space. That's what the concept of lean is all about. Achieving more with less. Achieving more with less. That's what it means to be productive. While also coming closer and closer to providing customers with exactly what they want. So it's not a system of doing more with less. But is it what your customers are looking for? Because if what we are giving is below what our customers are looking for, then we are saying we're missing it because we're going to lose all these customers. To do this involves identifying and eliminating non-value adding activities. Now let's get to lean information system. Lean approach seeks to identify and eliminate waste and improve the flow of value for management information. So now we are saying for management information. Lean thinking aims to add value to the information provided by the system in terms of how information is accessed, retrieved, how it is presented, eliminate unnecessary details, and how it flows to users, facilitate data sharing. So you see, when computers came, I'm sure some of you remember, I remember when I was a trainee accountant, when we had computers come into the plant in the 90s. You know, there was temptation to print and print and print. There was so much being printed, all types of reports. And most of these reports were not even being used anymore. People just throw it away or something like that. So lean is about, can you reduce? Now, of course, the physical printing has reduced, but even just the soft copies, imagine how much information you're getting. So lean is about, can we be more specific? Eliminate the unnecessary details. Be direct and to the point. Avoid duplication in terms of investment in hardware. Try sharing. That's why we've got the networking technology, isn't it? So that we share as much as possible. Features of lean information. Reports should only be produced if they're useful to decision making. to those who need them. And I'm sure a number of you agree with this point, because I'm sure I've been a victim of receiving things that you feel of no value. Information should be processed quickly so that users don't have to wait. Information systems need to be flexible enough to respond to ad hoc requests or meet changing needs of managers over time. So how do we implement lean principles? How do we implement lean principles? The 5S model can be used to help implement lean systems by improving productivity and efficiency and reducing waste. So there's a model called what? 5S model. This model can be used to bring about the lean principle. The 5 S's are there: sort, simplify, scan, standardize, and sustain. Now, I've told you that I normally cover this as the last topic with students, because if we had covered this even a few weeks ago, it's very difficult to remember some of these things. But this has been examined, how you can apply lean principles. Sort. So you need to explain to us what sort or structurize mean. Identify things which are important or are used frequently. I'm sure even you yourself on your laptops, you know things that you use frequently. And try to remove things which do not add value. So those things that are used frequently, we need to identify them. Number 2, simplify or systemize. Simplify. Arrange things so that they can be found quickly. Now this is orderliness. Arrange things so that they can be quickly found. Scan or sanitize. Oh, now maybe this one is an easier way there. In this COVID era, this is the word we're using, to sanitize. What does it mean to sanitize? Ensure the working environment is kept clean. Yes, that is very true. That's in line with the usage of the word, isn't it? Sanitize our hands and tidy. Remove clutter. Standardize. Standardize. What does it mean to standardize? Set standards and procedures. Standards and procedures to keep the work environment sorted and simplified. So you standardize, have certain things in place. And the last item is sustain or self-discipline. Continue to review the workplace. Continue to review the workplace. Continue to sort things used frequently. Simplify so that things are found easy. Ensure staff are motivated to continue making improvements. That is sustain. 5S methodology is part of a process of continuous improvement, not a one-off exercise. More on self-discipline. More on self-discipline. Which one? This one? That one? The last one? More on it. I put on the slide. The purpose of this stage is to ensure that an organization continuously improves by using previous stages, and also that lean becomes part of the culture of an organization. So lean must become part of the organization culture. And is seen as the responsibility of everyone in the organization. Everyone in the organization. Okay, so we can take a break at this point, isn't it? Let's take a break, people. Let's take a comfort break, eh? Let's take a comfort break. Okay, so we'll take a 10-minute break so that we refresh a little bit, eh? Yeah. So let's do that, eh? Let's take a comfort break. Data sharing. Already we have talked about lean. Eh? We said one of the concepts in lean is that we must share data, but also must share facilities and resources. Eh? So let's look at some of the data sharing technologies that we have. Groupware. So what's the concept all about of groupware? Software with functions that support collaborative work groups. If you are working on a project together or you're a team, you need to compare notes. As opposed to everybody having their own diary and writing their own things there. And when that person is not around, what happens? We are stuck. Because the information is not all in one place. So this sort of arrangement helps us to share information and knowledge. Yeah. Instead of having everything written on notes that we stick all over, the software enables us to input all information in one place, which everybody can see and access, and therefore able to work together as a team. So groupware supports people working in teams in terms of relevant information that is needed without duplications, and ensuring that this information remains for the organization. Even when a person leaves, the information remains. Most of us, we are working, we have intranets, and this is simply a private network within an office, in an organization, which allows the company information and also resources to be shared among its employees. So the newer employees find it easy because most of the information is on the internet. So young consultants, new consultants can make reference to that information. We can open our intranet to invite some people so that they can also access it. And now, so we have an extranet now, a private and secure extension of an intranet. It allows organizations to share information with people who are critical, such as suppliers and customers. So we can open our intranet to some external people, business partners, so that they can save us and we can save the much data. Data warehousing contains a wide range of data from internal and external sources. Makes it possible to drill down because all the data is there. So the data warehouse enables all of us, one organization, to have access to the same set of data. Beyond that, you can also even bring in data mining. which tries to critically look at some patterns and relationship between the large data pools that we have. More on the data warehouse. Our syllabus expects us to have a bit knowledge on some aspects like data warehouse. So what's data warehouse? A database. Data is combined from multiple and varied sources, both internal and external, into one comprehensive, secure, and easily manipulated data store. A unified corporate database allows all users to access the same information, to see overall picture of performance, and helps information inform business decision making. As part of the warehouse also, we have data extraction tools. Data can be extracted from the database to meet the individual user needs. Not only data extraction so that we extract what we want from there, but also decision support system. So warehouses equally go with the decision support systems. Data mining is used to analyze data and unearth unknown patterns or correlations in data. Data warehouse will bring the benefit of removing possible duplication of files and reducing storage requirements. However, there is a risk. The centralization of data may make a loss more catastrophic. Although, of course, we have backup procedures. Can reduce the risk. The cost of such an upgrade should always be less than the benefit. We have seen that another aspect of data warehouse is data mining. This is the analysis of data contained within the data warehouse to unearth relationships between them. So data mining results may include associations where one event can be correlated to another, e.g., we are purchasers buy peanuts a certain percentage of the time. Or the relationship you can see is a sequence. One event leading to another, e.g., a rag purchaser followed by purchasing of matching curtains. Classifications, profiling of customers who make purchases can be set up. So data warehouses become more meaningful when you combine them with data mining facilities. Features of software. The good features of software that we all need include functionality. It must be able to perform the expected task. Reliability. It should not be frequently out of service. Usability. Easy to effectively use. Build quality in terms of easy of maintenance, flexibility, expandability, and portability as well. Let's talk about data analytics now. Syllabus focus. Syllabus focus. Discuss the development of big data and its impact on performance measurement and management, including the risks and the challenges. Discuss the impact of big data and data analytics on the role of the management accountant. So what's big data all about? What is the concept all about? We are talking about high volume, high velocity, and high variety information assets that demand cost-effective forms of information processing for enhanced insight into decision-making. And that is very true. This is the situation we find ourselves in today. What situation? Situation of having to deal with the huge volumes of data, which is hitting our gadgets at a very high speed. We can't even talk in terms of variety, a wide range of information. So these are the features of big data. Now, this big data on its own is not useful. The ability to analyze large and unstructured data sets, to uncover previously hidden patterns of information, could be an important element of organizations' competitive advantage. The value of big data. This high volume, high velocity, high variety information is of value. It brings more information, which was previously costly to access. It can lead to performance improvement. Why? By responding to what customers are saying on the social media. So it can improve performance. If customers are saying that the product is good, we want to continue. If it needs adjustment or corrections, we do likewise. Market segmentation and customization. Segments can be identified and products tailored accordingly. Big data can also support our decision making. Analytics can uncover previous hidden patterns, which can be useful in decision making, such as introducing new products or changing the products. New products and services. Data about social trends, consumer behavior can be used to create new products. Big data analytics refers to the process of collecting, organizing, and analyzing large sets of data to discover the patterns and other useful information which an organization can use in its future business decisions. Being able to extract insights from the data available is crucial for organizations to benefit from the availability of data, otherwise you will not benefit. Big data analytics should help an organization to reveal insights in data which had previously been too difficult or costly to analyze due to volumes and variability of the data. These insights can be historical, real-time, or predictive. Let's look at the types of information systems that we have now. One, we've got transaction processing systems. Two, management information systems. And three, enterprise resource planning systems. And apparently our examiner is more interested in this one. But we cannot appreciate this one without talking about the other information systems which are possible. So let's talk about these information. See, some of them we have come across them in our basic studies, like in performance management or F5. What does a transaction processing system do? Transaction processing systems collect, store, modify, and retrieve the transactions of an organization. What is a transaction? As accountants, I'm sure that is part of our day-to-day terminologies. According to people in IT, we all say the same thing. A transaction is simply an event that generates or modifies data, which is eventually stored in an information system. Like when there's an order, there's a purchase, there's a sale. Those are events which generate data. And this data is captured. Now the transaction processing systems, we come face to face with them when we're in the supermarkets, we are shopping, you are finished shopping. The person on the till has to capture all that information, process it for us so that we can make a payment. When we go to our ATMs, want to withdraw money, a system there will allow us put in our details, they are processed, all the information comes, and we are able to draw our money. So what are the characteristics of a transaction processing system? Well, these are standardized and they are controlled. Everything has already been structured. There's nothing you can do. You just input your information and it will take you from one step to another till the transaction is completed in a structured way. So the processing is controlled. The processing must support an organization's operation. They are not flexible. You cannot put your own stuff. No. A TPS wants every transaction processed in the same way, regardless of user or time. If it were flexible, there would be too many opportunities for non-standard operations, and that will not work. Rapid response, fast performance is critical. Input must come output in seconds so that customers don't wait. Airline booking. Reliability. You know, such systems must be up and running all the time. Organizations rely heavily on TPS, with failure potentially stopping business. Backup and recovery procedures must be quick and accurate. Years back, some of these systems we used to work on batch processing, where first of all, we would wait for a number of transactions to take place before we can process them. So this system would collect transaction data as a group and process it later. Nowadays, almost all these systems are real time. They are processed there, and then as we put in the details, the system is directly talking to us. Immediate processing of data. It involves using a terminal or workstation to enter data and display results and provide instant confirmation, like in airline booking or when we withdraw money from ATMs. What of a management information system? These convert data from the internal sources into management information, e.g. summary reports and the exceptional reports. This information enables managers to make timely and effective decisions for planning, directing, controlling the activities for which they are responsible. So then, in support of management, an MIS extracts, processes, and summarizes data from the TPS. So those TPS are prerequisites for us to having an effective management information system. So if we have our TPS and MIS, we extract and summarize data from there so that now that reports are produced for management. So these systems focus on producing management reports from the TPS. Those years would wait till the month end to have your financial statements, to have your trial balance. But today, no. Today, MIS have become more flexible by providing access to information whenever needed, rather than pre-specified reports on a periodic basis. This information, these reports are updated almost on a daily basis. Let's graduate to another one, an executive information system. An EIS draws data from the MIS. So you see, we started with down there in the organization at operation level, TPS, MIS, now we have at EIS. This one was for our operations staff. This one was for at the middle of the organization. Now we're looking at our strategic management, senior management. Executive information systems draw data from MIS and allows communication with external sources. Now people here need external information. So it allows communication with external sources of information. EIS are designed to facilitate senior managers' access to information quickly and effectively. They have menu-driven, user-friendly interfaces. Even those of us who are not IT experts, we can work with these, isn't it? They provide interactive graphics and helps visualization of situations, so that graphics. Well, just click what you're looking for. An EIS has a communication capability, linking the executive to external databases, because that's what people need at that level. So must be able also to link to external databases. So an EIS release summarizes and tracks strategically critical information from the MIS and includes data from external sources, e.g., competitors, legislation, databases such as Reuters. So in terms of envisioning how important this information system is, there's a small example here. A good way to think about an EIS is to imagine the senior management team in an aircraft cockpit with that instrument panel, showing them the status of all key business activities. So just like the flying team has got this panel of instruments, showing them everything equally. And EIS shows senior management all the important variables, internal and external. EIS typically involve lots of data analysis and modeling tools such as what-if analysis to help people at the top there to make correct decisions. So they must be supported. So an EIS, of course, is built up using information from within and also from outside. And the information from within must be summarized in different types of reports and also support tools to enable basic analysis to be done. But in addition, this also must be linked to relevant external information so that the people who are in senior management can have adequate information for decision-making purposes. Our examiner likes enterprise resource planning systems, ERP. The number of questions that we have seen, they have hovered around the concept of an ERP. So what's an ERP? Executive resource planning systems or enterprise resource planning systems. These are modular software packages designed to integrate the key processes in an organization so that a single system, that's the point, a single system can serve the information needs of all function areas. This system permeates all aspects of the organization. And the key element for an ERP to provide analysis is a data warehouse. This database designed for quick search, retrieval, query, and so on. So the ERP is really make use of the data warehouse. So that is a visual presentation of an ERP, which has integrated all these functions. So within it, all these functions, all information needed for these functions are in one place. No multiplications. So an ERP has integrated all this information. Let's continue. It is important that management accounting data does not exist in isolation. Otherwise, you may make wrong decisions, isn't it? But it's part of the wider information system of the organization. An ERPS is a way of integrating data from all operations within an organization, e.g., operations, sales, marketing, HR, and purchasing into one single system. It is an example of a unified corporate database. It is an accounting-oriented system that helps to identify and plan the resources needed to fulfill customer orders. And these resources involve the whole organization. Having this integrated system ensures that everyone is working off the same system, aiding data flow of information within an organization, as well as managing connections with outsiders such as suppliers. It also includes decision support features to assist management with decision making. Software companies such as SAP and Oracle have specialized in provision of ERPS across different types of industries. Explain how the introduction of ERPS could impact on the role of management accountants. And our syllabus wants us to specifically comment on that. The introduction of ERPS has the potential to have a significant impact on management accountants. How? The use of ERPS causes substantial reduction in the gathering and processing of routine information by management accountants. Instead of relying on management accountants to provide them with information, managers are able to access system to obtain the information required directly via suitable electronic access mediums. ERPS perform routine tasks that not so long ago were seen as an essential part of the routines of a management accountant. For example, perpetual inventory, valuation. Therefore, if management accountants are to remain and are not to be diminished, then it is of necessity that management accountants should seek to expand their roles within the organization. Management accountants may be involved in interpreting, that's where your work is, the information generated from ERPS and provide business support for all management within an organization. So our role now is support to help people understand the meaning and the implication of what they see in an ERPS. So ERPS primarily supports business operations, those activities that support the selling, the order processing, manufacturing, distribution, planning, customer service, HR, finance, and purchasing. ERP are quite function rich and cover all these activities. And the principal benefit being that the same data can be shared between so many departments. This integration is accomplished through a database shared by all the applications. So the point is a database which is shared by all the applications. For example, when a customer service representative takes an order and is inputs into the system, it is entered in the common database and it automatically updates the manufacturing backlog, the price, the credit system, and even the shipping schedule. All those are updated by a single entry. All those are updated by just a single entry. So that's what happens in an ERP. ERP system work in real time. That's very important, isn't it? Because it means that information is updated there and then. There's nothing like delay, no. Meaning that the exact status of everything is always available, always available. And most of these systems are global. So they integrate operations which are cross borders, integrating operations from different parts of the world. And how is that possible? Since they can deploy that sites around the world, they can work in multiple languages. All you do is just change the language. Multiple language and currencies. So meaning that as an organization, you really work as one. When they are, you can immediately see, for example, how much a particular part is on hand at the warehouse in Japan. And what its value is in yen or even in dollars. You can see that from Zambia. So it's a very powerful tool for uniting the whole organization. So what are the benefits of the ERP? This is a common exam question. This question has been examined again and again. What are the benefits of an ERP? Allowing access to system to any individual with a terminal linked to the system central server. So you can answer any query on behalf of the organization. Decision support features to assist management with decision making. In many cases, extranet links to the major suppliers and also major customers. Now that's very important. You want to be in touch with suppliers and customers with electronic data interchange or the automated transmission of documentation, such as purchase orders and invoices. So there's nothing like, we're waiting for an invoice. No, you just open, you find the invoices, the orders are already there. Another advantage is that a lot of inefficiencies in the way things are done can be removed. The company can adopt the so-called best practice because the whole company across the world works as one, or as the expression, a cookbook of how similar activities are performed in world-class companies. You can learn because you're integrated. You can learn from other portions of the company in other parts of the world. World-class operations. World-class operations. A company can restructure its processes so that different functions work more closely together to get products produced. An organization can align itself to a single plan. We all have one plan because we're accessing the same shipping schedule, the same manufacturing schedule, so that all activities around the world are smoothly coordinated. Because we are advising our customers with what? The same source of information. Same source of information. Further, standardizing information and work practices so that the terminology used is similar, no matter where you work in the company. A company could do a lot more for a lot more customers without needing to employ so many people. And that's what we call what? Lean. So we can actually practice lean management with an ERP. Okay, so that was our discussion, people, on area C of our syllabus, information systems, some of the aspects that are important. So in our class tomorrow, I'll put together some questions which have got elements of information system so that we can discuss them and we leave no stone unturned there. Want to make sure that you don't leave any stone unturned. Every possible topic is discussed so that you have an idea of what to do in the exam. Eh? All right. What time is our meeting tomorrow?
12 hours.
Come again? Same time?
12 hours. Yes.
Okay.
So I have a request on
Yes.
can we do different kind of questions on ABC, cost allocations and all? Maybe 2 questions, just but the parts that are referring to calculations.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. It's a mock which was written. I was going through it. The mock which you wrote. Those wrote the mock. After Albert is coming from that, let's practice a question on ABC. Your request is granted. I'll put together a question tomorrow or questions tomorrow for ABC. Okay, Albert.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Mr. P, does
Yes,
that
please.
mean you won't go through the mock?
I'm still going through for those who have written. I wanted to go through one question today, but tomorrow I think we'll be able to go through the first question, the 50-mark question. But those who wrote the mock already, from the analysis of the question that we did, question 1, I think they already have an idea of the mistakes that they made. Like those, the emphasis on how to evaluate, I think now they can see. And Albert, I give you a solution, eh?
You did.
Yeah, I'll share the solution. All right, we'll go through it, not a problem. I didn't want to preempt because there are some people wanted to write today. So that is why, but I think we're giving them one up today. If they don't write, then tomorrow we can review the answers. So we'll see you tomorrow at 12 hours. Yeah?